real estate agent? Are you looking to acquire clients consistently so you can grow your business and your income to live a great lifestyle? This is Dave Finale and the RE Skill Builder Podcast.
Hey everybody, it's Dave Finale and the Real Estate Skill Builder Podcast. This is Real Estate Talk TGIF, episode 129. That's 127 weeks in a row. That's a long time, man. That's over 2 years, and I'm going to pat myself on the back for that one. Okay. All right. So we've done 129 shows in 127 weeks, and I'm real happy to have a little twist today in our real estate business. Usually we're talking mostly about residential. Today we're going to talk a little bit about commercial and how these experts, these geniuses in the field of commercial real estate are going to be able to help residential real estate agents become know how to do a commercial deal, that understand it, so it's not like a different language to them. So as I said, it's Real Estate Talk TGIF 129. Anthony and Eugene, do you guys know what TGIF stands for?
Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's finale. Thank God it's finale. There you go. I like that.
You got it. Thank God it's finale. That is correct. Most people do not get it. You got it wrong first. You fixed it. Love it, right? So episode 129, Anthony Rivera, Eugene Rivera, here we are. We want to talk about real estate. We're here to give value to real estate agents. And talk to me, guys. Talk to me about how you got into real estate first, why commercial, not residential, and where you've taken your business from there and the reasons why.
All right, sure. No, first of all, thank you very much, Dave, for having my brother and I here on your great show. You know, you have a great audience here that, you know, are loyal, and we really appreciate having the time with you as well as all the agents on this call. So really appreciate it. Thank you so much. But yeah, let me take it back. I mean, real estate is in our DNA because our parents, you know, when they immigrated here, they bought real estate, you know, in the North Jersey area as well as South Jersey, right outside Atlantic City. So we always took care of the family deals as far as leasing, taking care of the tenants. And so that was more of a family thing. That wasn't really professional as far as, you know, having a real estate license, but it was just personal family properties. We really came from the world of Wall Street. We were wealth advisors for Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter, as well as Fidelity Investments, coming right out of the universities. And then really, as you know, with the stock market back in the late 90s, you had the boom and bust of the tech bubble, as well as in 08, 09, another bear market of the financial crisis with the mortgages and so on. So we really, you know, we did very well over there, but really wanted to go to an investment area where it's a little more steady, as you will, but still huge in the investment arena. And so we always had a mindset for real estate. And of course, dealing with large multi-million-dollar accounts on Wall Street, we figured, you know, commercial real estate, we really want to deal with institutional clients. And that was what we were used to. So that's what brought us into commercial real estate. So, you know, fast forward, going there, you know, I really worked with the top retail shopping center brokers in Northern New Jersey. People might have heard of the Goldstein Group out of Paramus. Really worked hard there with 3 years of learning the business from the Goldsteins and all my colleagues there, doing deals with McDonald's, Enterprise Rent-A-Car, Hollywood Tens, Five Guys, all the major retailers that you would see in shopping centers and strip malls all over the Northern Jersey. And then also transitioned over to working for a developer, wanting to find out how a developer identifies a site. You know, then I moved over to RD management, where I learned how to identify sites, know how to build shopping centers, and then tenant them with top retailers. 90% occupancy, as my brother. So, you know, really looking at the whole commercial real estate development world in that aspect, and then came back to brokerage, and that's when my brother joined me, coming back from Hong Kong. So yeah, he'll tell you exactly how he joined and how he joined.
Yeah, well, you know, pretty much after graduating from Boston University economics degree, I joined my brother at Morgan Stanley several decades ago, and then actually went the same path, Morgan Stanley, then Fidelity. Then I actually took time off, I left the U.S. and did an MBA out in China. So I lived in Beijing for 5 years, and after that, another 5 years in Hong Kong, really trading commodities, trading iron ore, learning the ins and outs of how production of steel was made. Actually, if you know what steel production, 75% of steel is iron ore, the material. So when I left Hong Kong, beginning of 2015, I built so much relationships in Asia. And of course, there was the bloom of when really buyers of institutional type buyers were coming into Greater Manhattan, Greater New York City, Northern Jersey to purchase certain either for investment or for personal residential. So I used my contacts that I made in Hong Kong and in Asia and joined my brother at Pure Properties, which was in Jersey City. We have since left Pure Properties and now have joined the robust system of EXP Realty with Brett Secor and Dave DeVoe, a powerhouse residential team in North Jersey and in the Greater New York City area. So basically, took my know-how of relationships and the economics portion of my brain in terms of valuing mines. I used to value also iron ore mines all across the world. Took that same know-how of basically cash flow analysis and joined my brother in his commercial real estate team and really diving deep into the asset class of self-storage and industrial warehouses. Okay. So that's a brief introduction of how I came into this into the mix, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, so thanks a lot for the information, guys, to see where you came from, because everybody takes a different path to get here, and I believe that there's a really, your path is, while not typical, and no one, what is a typical path? You stay in the same business all the way through, right? So people would say, well, you're seeing, maybe you're making a lot of money working with in Wall Street and all that stuff and all the commodities and stuff. Why real estate? Why would you get into something where you had to do a lot of running around and shit? Why would you do that? What was the impetus for real estate rather than something else? Was the financial industry not fun anymore?
Very good question, Dave. The stock market, as you know, is I always put it this way. Ever since the introduction of hedge funds into the securities markets, they can whipsaw that market any which way they want, as far as, hedge funds controlling a lot of shares of different type of companies. And it just felt like, I want to be in more of an industry where it's something that's not going to be like a stock, for example, like GE go from $30 to $7, or Lucent. Back in the days, Lucent went from whatever it was, $67 to zero, things like that. I wanted to be in an industry, even though, obviously the markets are legitimate, it's good, but less of the seesaw, the roller coaster. And I saw commercial real estate being that vehicle of slow and steady, still very strong, obviously, in the investment arena. And then commercial real estate is highly leverageable, as you know. And so I love that aspect of that.
Yeah. But also, just to piggyback off what my brother's trying to say, we wanted to move more into tangible assets instead of intangible. Something that you touch, feel, and look, and rent out, as opposed to, a piece of paper that you buy as a stock and see it go down 30% in less than 2 weeks. It just really, we were tired of making those phone calls to clients. And say, looks like the political climate's not there. Prepare for, hold, and let's just hope that it goes back up. But it's all the situation of, look, if I buy a piece of property, I know it's there. I know that it's not going to be a whipsaw change in price, and so that's why we came into the commercial real estate arena.
So one of the things I work with my coaching clients on is when we talk about investment, we talk about real estate. One of the things that I always remember back that I learned that I like to impart on my clients and on my mentees is real estate. My dad said this, and I'm sure he wasn't the one that said it, but I thought he said it. I thought he made it up. So he says, real estate, land, they ain't making any more of it, right? So it always was going to hold some value. And he himself came over. His parents came over in 1912 from Sicily, and they didn't have a lot. They had a lot of strife and a lot of bad things happened to them in Sicily. That's why they came to the United States. And I always asked him. I never asked him. He died in 2005 when he was 90, and I asked him a couple of years before. They said, "Dad, why real estate?" Because he would buy real estate, hold on to it, and not do a lot with it, but he made a lot of money doing it, right? And I said, "Why did you miss developing this, or why did you miss doing that?" He says, "It didn't matter to me." He says, "I was able to hold on to it. It was something I had. It was something I had that was mine, that nobody could really take it away from me if it performed." Being a performing asset is what he was talking about. Here's a man that probably had, in excess of let's just say it was a huge portfolio at his passing, never ran a number. Never. If he knew it could pay for itself, he would buy it. Right? That was how the numbers ran for him. So as I'm talking about this, I am making a point, by the way. So with the pandemic and all that stuff, we see a lot of non-performing assets. We see performing assets. I won't even get into the retail aspect of it. We also see office becoming vacant or will become vacant or not performing. Talk to me about what's happening now. And is there any way to look at an asset that is performing as being more valuable than it normally would be?
Sure. I mean, you look at the retail market, if you will, going on, especially in New York City. Is there an opportunity to buy or opportunity to lease at these low rates? Because rates have pretty much come down maybe 20 to 25% on the retail side, especially if you look at storefronts that are probably trading right on Fifth Avenue.
Right.
Just the other day, we another competitor of EXP actually told us that they were able to sign a lease deal on Fifth Avenue in the teens per square foot. I mean, that's unbelievable. So, I mean, yes, with chaos, does it create opportunity? Sure. But, of course, we all want this pandemic to go behind us and go back to normal. But is there a situation where, let's say, again, office complexes, you look at before the pre-pandemic stuff on Exchange Place, right around the waterfront in Newport, was trading around $42 to $43 per square foot. Have they come down? Sure, they came down, maybe 10%. Maybe they're trading now $30, $29 a foot. Is it time to really lock up a space and a long-term lease? Not a long-term, maybe 5 years with 5-10-year extensions at those upper 20s level? Sure. So what we're seeing, getting back to your original question, what we're seeing is, yes, definitely retail office complex is definitely taking it on the chin. But in terms of other asset classes in commercial real estate, like industrial warehouses, wow, they've been on a tear. I mean, you're talking about 132 a foot pre-pandemic. That has been rising steadily. I think we're now closer up to it, especially North Jersey, Bergen, and Hudson counties, where industrial warehouse is trading around 139 to 141 a foot. So, with commercial, there's just like anything, there's always an opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I just want to hone in on a point that I've been having conversations with a lot of people about, and that's, commercial properties that were performing that aren't now, and ones that are. Is there an added value to a performing asset today, one that it looks like it's going to have a great future rather than a questionable future? Does that make sense? Is that a stupid question, or does that make sense to you?
No, it makes sense. I mean, you're talking about right now what is doing well and going into the future as far as as you know, overall, my brother was saying everything is cyclical. As you know, Dave, various sectors and so on. And of course, retail and office are at the bottom right now. But what's really rising to the top, and we feel that still has very strong legs, are the industrial warehouse, the distribution centers. Even before this call, I had a call this morning, and it was a lead that came in from yesterday in regards to they're looking for land for what was it? Industrial warehouse. It was an industrial warehouse lead that wants to buy 2 acres somewhere in central Jersey. And it was because we're actually one of these, online shows that we were on yesterday. So that's the thing, is that I can't find enough properties for these people. It's really strong for that. And then of course, our specialty is self-storage. We talked to a builder of ours yesterday, and he already had 3 different self-storage sites that just got approved all around the Northeast. So that's going to tear.
So going back to your question, Dave, definitely an asset class that we see that has been holding steady and perhaps will rise in value over the next 5-10 years is self-storage. Basically it is an asset class that is, fly by night, under the radar, even pre-pandemic. You basically, someone put it bluntly with self-storage. It's like owning a hotel that's 95% occupied, and you never have to deal with people. What a great business that is, right?
Yeah, right.
And on top of that, if people stop paying, you know what you do? You just auction off their stuff. If they're late for 2 months, you padlock their unit and you do a fire sale. So it's definitely a business that has been growing and definitely has some legs for the future. In self-storage, we call it, what are the 4 drivers of self-storage? It's death, density, or relocation, divorce, unfortunately, and dislocation. Yeah, divorce, death, dislocation, and density. So basically, all those 4 things, especially in North Jersey, are increasing.
Great. All right. So thank you so much for taking the time to answer that question, because it's been on my mind, and I've talked to a lot of different people about it. So let's go into you've gone from commercial, heavy duty, high end commercial brokerage, and you've come over to EXP. And this is not an EXP broadcast, by the way. This is just, I see EXP as a residential company, right? So then you come over, but then again, it makes sense when I start seeing that you're helping residential real estate agents do commercial deals. Talk about that as far as, in a synopsis of what you're doing and how you're doing it and why you're doing it.
Okay, great. So yes, this actually all began even before the pandemic. I was already coaching select residential agents that always came to me and say, how do I do a commercial deal? Always asking for, obviously, nuggets of information, advice, opinions, because they know that my brother and I do commercial real estate in North Jersey. And so, it really dawned on me saying, you know what? I think there is a niche here in this real estate space that I can really coach and train all the connections, all the networking, all the expertise and know-how into a program. And so I reached out to a couple of my residential friends all around North Jersey and, developed a program. It was really face-to-face, one-on-one coaching pre-pandemic, and offered to them, charge a certain fee, because obviously time is money. And, if I'm taking it away from my practice, I wanted it, but the whole thing is also to help them grow as a real estate professional. And because these residential agents have the relationships with commercial investors and just overall real estate people that have portfolios of commercial, but they just didn't know how to address it. So there came Commercial Real Estate Boss, doing one-on-one trainings. But now, because of the pandemic, we put all our coaching and training online. So they're all recorded webinars, which are about 20 minutes long, each topic, different things. And it's an ongoing process. We even offer worksheets for each of those lessons, so they really retain the knowledge and information there. Different type of things we go over.
Basically it's weekly courses where every 7 days the subject changes. Like, for example, in week 1, we go into exactly what are the different types of commercial assets there are. There's retail, office, industrial.
Right.
Then we learn how to write those letters of intents. What's the first step? All the way down to, what exactly in week 2, we go on into municipalities, really taking a deep dive, logging into the township's municipality and see what, we open up Pandora's box, if you will, really take the agent by the hand and look at the various terminologies that a municipality within their zoning department have, like what's FAR mean? Floor area ratio. What does variance mean? Is this use that my client wants to do on Main Street, USA? Is it approved as of right? So we really take the real estate residential agent by the hand and go step by step on how to complete or develop that blockbuster deal for their client.
Yeah. Dave, if I may, let me give you an example, a real life success story of why, residential agents, if they had the wherewithal, the resources, and the ambition, the confidence to take on a commercial deal, how they can do that deal and then end up with a 6-figure commission. So I was at one point at Liberty Realty in Hoboken, and my brother and I were the commercial arm of Patrick Southern's team. So we were the commercial arm, and the residential side was Patrick Southern. A call came into the office from a New York City self-storage developer looking to open up and start a self-storage in Hoboken. They found Patrick's name by Googling him and so on, and then the call came in. Patrick came to me and said, "Hey, Anthony, there's a call that came in from New York. This guy wants to do self-storage in Hoboken. Can you help him out?" I said, sure, let me bring him over. He referred it over to me, and then he told me his site criteria. I went on LoopNet, found, inputted all the site criteria, and then found about 3 or 4 sites that fit. The second one in the Hoboken fit, and it happened to be directly with the owner of that property in Hoboken in Uptown, 13th and Adams.
$4.5 million.
Yes, I'll get that. So it ended up being a $4.5 million deal, what my brother is saying. So basically, I brought the client there from New York City. We did a tour. He liked the site. We went for everything, and right now sits a 7-story, 145,000 square foot CubeSmart right at the viaduct from Hoboken to Union City with the mural. If everybody knows where that is, the mural on the side of it, that ended up being a $4.5 million deal and about $200,000 commission. So that's just from a call that just came in.
That's now, just residential agents that really didn't want to do the job, right?
That's it. Or maybe didn't have the skill set. Obviously, and which we respect. He stayed in his. Right. Some people want to stay in their lane. Some people, right. And we understand that. But this was an opportunity.
So so there's a lot of residential agents that want to do the commercial deals, and some might want to get into it, and they use and so that's where what you come into and all that. With that, I want to bring in someone that I work with on a day-to-day basis. My coach. We coach together, shoulder to shoulder, working with a lot of different residential agents. And this is my friend, my coworker, Sekou Pyle. So I want to bring Sekou in, and we're going to bring him.
It's the Riveras. What is going on, my brothers?
We're going to change the banner. Give me a second.
I'm peeking over.
You are peeking. Give me a second. There we go.
There you go.
Whitney Lions. Nice.
Yeah. Oh, we are. Penn State.
We are. Yeah.
Penn State.
I don't know about their record.
I want to give a little plug. Next week on December 7th and to the 11th, all week, we're doing the Appointment Academy. I would have played the video.
Rivera's alums.
Right. And we didn't get a chance to, we couldn't play the video. We had some technical difficulties, but the appointmentacademy.com. This is where your business goes on steroids. If someone's looking to really grow their business, you learn how to do the business. This stuff is what the 100 deal a year people are doing. This is how they start their business. This is how they continue their business. This is how they make $1 million in real estate. And that is this man's mission. Sekou Pyle, thanks for coming on, man.
What's going on? First of all, let me just say, I got Appointment Academy alums. I got folks that inside the academy, they did a presentation for us, and they told a story of how they found a property through cold calling and lead generation. it is the quintessential version of business development with people who have an eye for business. So I don't want to discount that. I would love for you guys to share a story like that, man, and talk about how you found the property on Google Maps and where it went from there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we were working with a client of ours in Brooklyn, a private equity firm called Equator Capital. Basically, what one of the partners there said, "Hey, Eugene, we want to find exactly where self-storage is approved as of right, because as you know, 90% of the game really is finding a site that you can actually build what the intended use is." So he basically gave me a map of New York City where there are certain regions that were shaded as a M zones, M1, M2, M3 zones are where self-storage is as of right a permitted use. So basically I said, okay, I'm going to focus on these areas in Staten Island, where, which is part of New York City, of course, the fifth borough. And I basically took my Google satellite. I had two computers going on at the same time, and looked at plots of land on actually this free website called oasis.nyc.org, which actually specifically shows you each plot of land, their acreage size, their plot size, lot size, and what's the zone. So I just basically looked at one map where self-storage was approved as of right, and the other one was Google Satellite. And I just looked at the satellite view, and I just said, okay, it has to be right around areas where there's good visibility. So it's either Hyson Boulevard or Route 440, which is also called Veterans Parkway in Staten Island. That's the main thoroughfares. And then boom, I just dropped a little yellow guy on 440, and then just started clicking on the mouse. Where can I find a 1.5 acreage piece of land where they can, build 100,000 plus square foot piece of, beautiful Class A piece of property. And so lo and behold, I came upon the Tranchina's Paving and Construction's site, and picked up the phone. I just looked at the sign on Google Satellite and called. I didn't even go there. And Google, coming from with my brother at Morgan Stanley Dean Woodard, cold calling from him, I love getting on the phones and just smiling and dialing. And lo and behold, the first thing they said was, we just got a hot dog truck approved here, but it was a 99 long-term lease, one of the first in Manhattan, actually successful one. And they said, as long as you can keep a space for my hot dog truck that I just got approved, then yes, we'll invite any type of offer that you make. So that is the story.
If I may add to that, it happened to be the right timing because they've been in business for over 60 years, this stone and paving company in Staten Island. And at that point, they were looking to exit that business. They were looking to sell. And so we just came in at the right point, right time. And we were able to talk to the matriarch and present a self-storage opportunity there. What happened there, that ended up being a 99-year lease term with, for the family, a certain amount of thousands of dollars a month for the next 98 years, and was written up in the real deal.
Wow.
Largest New York City deal in summer of 2017 was the fourth largest.
So let's do some chemistry. Let's do some business chemistry here, right? Let's take you got some elements that you mentioned that I really, really want to point out, right? You point out your brother, Morgan Stanley and trading and smiling and dialing. You pointed out, hunting for your food, and not being afraid to make that dial, not being afraid to make that connection, right? I heard the name Patrick Southern at one point, and he's another smiler and dialer. He's another dialing person. Right. I heard the elements of, why don't we see what we can find? So we went out there and we laid out our maps and we saw what we needed. So if we can do this equation the right way, it cost you exactly, let me see, nothing.
Yep. And it turned into a six-figure commission.
So I think the return, you guys are much smarter than us when it comes down to trading and stocks and bonds. and investing, right? I believe that's an 8 gazillion% return on your investment.
Like that. Yes. Yeah. I think yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean,
that is awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, you know, and then 4 months later, we did our next long-term ground lease in Bayonne, which was not a 99-year, but a 75-year lease. So basically, it just kept going and going. So look,
so you have momentum.
Yeah, I mean, look, I tell residential agents this: you're going to spend the same amount of time trying to sell a $300,000 condo. Why not sell a $4 million piece of land, get the same 5% pop as you would on a $300,000 condo, and do the same amount of legwork? So
there's a lot of apprehension. There's a lot of anxiety when I speak to agents, especially residential agents, about doing commercial deals. And a lot of times they see those zeros and those decimal places and their eyes get all big and they start getting stressed out. Talk to me about just the way you approach business, the way you approach your clients and customers. Is there some dramatic difference between a commercial agent and a residential agent in the way that you service your customers and clients?
That's a very good question, Sekou, and that's I'll get right to the heart of it. As you guys know, with residential, it's a very emotional purchase, and you're dealing with the emotions of Mr. and Mrs. Buyer that really doesn't know the value of the real estate and just really trying to find a home for themselves and their family. So that's one sector of it. Commercial is totally the opposite as far as taking the emotion out, and it's just straight numbers, and it's really just everything on black and white and just seeing if it makes sense as a great investment. And so that's really the main difference. But really, the combining what's great at the foundation of both things is relationships. And I just actually filmed one of the webinars yesterday. Is that it all comes down to relationships, and that's just like the relationships we have right here amongst us. And that's the reason where I feel that's the reason why residential agents can do commercial if they so choose, up to a certain point of comfort, because they have the relationship with their client who they already have the trust. They have their trust, and you know what? As long as they get the resources and the know-how, they can do that deal. So really, at the end of the day, because if I can share this, one of our students in Houston, Texas, he had a strong relationship with his residential client and referred a commercial deal out to a commercial broker because he didn't have the wherewithal to do it. It was a $6 million potential land development deal. And that commercial broker never followed up and called his client to take the baton from him and move forward. He told me that he lost out on a potential $300,000 commission, and unfortunately, it damaged his relationship with his client. So I always say that nobody takes care of your clients like you do because it's your business. Right. This is all our business. We work too hard. We work too hard to develop, and build relationships and get that business and close it to let it go somewhere else. So that's what that's the main thing.
I think the important part here is to look at when you look at both sides of the type of business we're talking about, residential, commercial, right? It's just still the same thing. It's a matter of asking the right questions all along.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Being a consultant.
It's
that's my favorite thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like I learned from my buddy Sekou Pyle, he says, if you're making statements, it's about you. If you're asking questions, it's about them.
Yes, absolutely.
That's right.
That is great.
Right. So it's all about that. And one of the things that I like about what you guys are doing is and what's funny is not funny, but really great is like it's the people I've been able to meet over the past year or so. It's always been a fast friendship, and that's what's happened with us. And because there's value, right? We're on the same page with value. We're on the same page helping people, and that's what your system commercial real estate boss talks about and goes from, right? And basically, we talked the other day to get ready for this, and you talked about to bridge the disconnect between residential and commercial. Talk a little bit about that so we can get a little more information on that for the people that are watching.
Sure. Yeah. Like my brother was saying, look, I mean, it's all about opening up Pandora's box and what's the secrets if there really isn't one, right? It's just really a matter of having the time and the wherewithal to really even go to a municipality, sit down and ask to see the zoning officer. And if they say, look, he's not, and it's like kind of like going to a doctor's office, right? You know how it's tedious. I got to wait. But you know what? Just wait. If the zoning officer is going to come in 10 minutes, sit down and wait and ask all the questions that you want to ask. You know, what's so hard about that? So basically, we open up that Pandora's box and we say, look, it's easy. It's easy. Number one, go onto their website, see what's an approved use for that piece of land that you're working for your client on Main Street, USA. Right. So it's all about the hand holding and really taking the time out to not get frustrated, because sometimes these deals do take time, whereas residential can take maybe a month to 2 months to close. With commercial deals, takes 3 months to a year to close certain deals. But the bigger the deal, of course, the bigger the commission. So to get back to your question, Dave, really, there really isn't a special formula to turn a residential agent into a commercial agent.
Well, let me, and Anthony, if you don't mind, you guys are too polite to say this. The reality is that from a residential agent perspective, when dealing with commercial agents, there's a certain amount of stank on the relationship. There's and it's very rare that you meet people like yourselves who actually are answering questions, are delivering information, are willing and open to receiving and giving. And so the relationship that I see you developing is your willingness to say, hey, look, there's enough to go around. Let's make sure we all win. And that attitude, I got to be honest with you, is very rare. I've met several dozen, big time commercial agents, and only a small handful, and you two being the thumb and the forefinger of that small handful of commercial agents that don't have that sort of sheen to you. Can you, in furtherance of Finale's question, can you sort of talk to me about how you've got this attitude and approach to your business?
Well, I think, look, we came from, we're first generation Americans. Our parents came here back in the late 60s. And, it's just going to the that old adage of, okay, if you're not part of this group of knowing how to, let's say, invest in the stock market, then you'll never step onto the next level. So we kind of said, wait a minute, how come it's only, certain types of groups are able to invest in this and others are waiting on the whims and really take the time to really learn about this certain asset class, like a stocks or a bonds. So yeah, getting back to your idea, Sekou, of, maybe you can explain more.
You guys are way polite, and I know that you guys don't step on each other.
It comes from gratefulness and abundance at this point. We've reached a certain level in our careers at this point that we want to give back and we want to pay it forward. We feel that there's more than enough business to go out there, more than enough commercial real estate properties, more than enough money, and more than enough clients to go out there. We don't have to take everything and be greedy and hoard everything. Right. We're sharers, and it really comes down to our faith, what our parents taught us. We're Catholic Christians, and it comes from our faith. Well, we're about helping others because we know how hard it is to make money, especially when you own your own business, and especially in these times. The thing is, you can't take anything for granted, and we're so grateful for what we have and what we've been given that we want to pay it forward. We want to give it to other people. We're not those that broker that's and we understand that they can be typically a-holes. But we are the total opposite, and that's why we're breaking the machine. We are a different mold. We come from a different cloth, and that's
to be fair to those typical a-holes, right? Yeah. The language that the residential agent uses in order to communicate with the commercial agent, there's a disconnect there. So if we're not speaking the same language, a lot of times everything is lost in translation. Correct. And what I'm noticing is that you're slowing folks down, and rather than reacting to the language barrier, right? You're taking the time to stop and to educate on the language of your avenue of the business versus our avenue of the business versus everyone's avenue of the business. And so I think what overall needs to be said is there needs to be a level of appreciation for that. And I, for one, am very grateful that you're there, because I don't want to have to do it. I don't want to have to teach them how to.
I'm with you, man. It's something that we've all. I mean, as a broker owner for a long time, I mean, it was a difficult thing to try to explain the differences and try to do it because I was in investment real estate and commercial real estate most of my career. And it was to explain how it worked and what you had to look at as far as how to price stuff. I thank you guys. I mean, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
We understand it. And actually that's where it happens is we teach the lingo. We teach the technical side of being able to talk to that commercial broker, but also say you have that strong relationship in your client base that owns that commercial property, but you have that relationship. I tell you that people will come to you. People, if they really want to be on that block and on that piece of land, that broker from Cushman, CBRE, JLL will call you because if you represent it, they will want to do business with you. All you have to do is be able to give them the information they need, and we're able to.
I love it. You guys mentioned Liberty and Cavello, man. Cavello really gave me a lot of game when it came down to the multifamily. We make fun, right? He does the 15 and 15. I don't want to give anything away, but that 15 and 15 sustained me for a long time, man. So just knowing the language, knowing what to ask, knowing what questions to ask, knowing how to make it about your commercial client is going to be important. And you're doing a great service to the entire industry. And I truly appreciate it. I took my hat off to you guys already.
Thanks. Yeah,
you did. Yeah, you did. Sekou, any other questions for Anthony or Eugene?
Yeah, I've got a selfish question for you guys. We're having the Appointment Academy next week. Can I get you guys for another day to do your session again and maybe attract some more? Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I appreciate it. I know what Finale wants me to ask, man, but I want to turn it over to him before I ask the question.
Great. So at the as we move along, I mean, we like to make sure that we give a lot of value, and I know there's a lot of value here today. And I know that I know you heard something about what happens on this show, Real Estate Talk TGIF, and I want to make sure that you have earned it. We want to make sure that.
There it is.
Yeah,
that's what I want. That's what I want.
And what I want to, one of the things I want to ask you before I hand it over to Sekou is, aside from what I got on the screen right now, how do people get in touch with you? How do people talk to you? What's the process so they can talk more to you than just going to commercialrealestateboss.com?
They can simply just either email us or give me a call. That's the great thing about us. Right now, we are very accessible. I mean, that's the thing is we really want to know our students. And if we have to hire more people to be able to engage with our students and set times, we will do that because we're really in it for their success. Everything is, so what we'll do is we'll put the, our email over there. We can type it into the chat. Yeah, it's our email is agrenterprisesllc.com, agrenterprisesllc@gmail.com. And my cell number is 973-449-7052. 973-449-7052.
Hold on.
I am here. I am real, and I really want people. The best thing for us, tell you the truth, guys, is that we coach someone and then we're driving around doing something, and then all of a sudden we see one of our students' signs on the building and said, that's our student. Look at that. That is, for us, that would be a success.
So it's agrenterprises@gmail.com, and it's 973 what?
agrenterprisesllc@gmail.com.
Okay.
And then the phone number is 973-449-7052. That's myself. I'm accessible. We're busy, but I'll make time for my students because that's how much we really care about it. This is our business. And as you guys know, when you have your own business, you take care of it. You nurture it like a baby. And that's it. And that's what we do.
And we're correct on the screen here, guys?
Enterprises. That's it. That's correct. That's correct.
Awesome. Awesome. So, guys, I want to thank you so much for being on. We're going to get together real soon so we can get you the hats, because I actually signed these now, and they're becoming collectible items. Right.
I see. Look at Seiku's got the nice one there.
I love it.
Yeah, it's like the Masters tournament, right? You get the green jacket, right? When you finish the golf tournament. Well, this is the hat. You get the RE hat when you finish.
We're definitely honored also to be alumni now of TGIF here on your show.
Yeah.
The top quality of people that you both bring to your programs, and we're really honored and blessed to be along with you guys for the ride.
Guys,
one more thing for the last question is that if anyone's interested in previous episodes, we have just released TGIF Top 10. So TGIFtop10.com, you can get the top 10 episodes plus access to 129. So Seiku, would you just bring us together and
bring us together? So I'm going to make a statement about you, and I'm going to ask a question. Statement about you is that as long as we are together, as long as we know each other, and as long as we are growing business, I'm going to have every agent I know do a call to action inside of in your name, and go to the commercialrealestateboss.com and sign up. It is the best kind of education that I could possibly imagine anyone getting, even if you're not going to do commercial real estate deals, even if you're going to refer them. I know a couple of agents that you can refer that business to, and what a treat and what a bonus to know, like, and trust the agent that you're referring it to. So I appreciate that, and that's going to be our mission for you. And then the final question, guys, how do we help you grow? What can we do to help you?
I tell you, this is it. This is right here. Just being one big family of helping each other, because that's what we're all about. I mean, if we can do this great business that we love so much and make money at it at the same time, there's nothing better than that. Whatever is going to, really give us that life that we really, want to strive for and have and keep it. That's what we're doing. You guys, by just being here on the call with us, we feel blessed. Yeah. We feel grateful to
TGIF, guys. TGIF.
Yeah.
TGIF, man.
Anytime you guys want to invite us, TGIF, Seiko with the Appointment Academy. Yeah. Yesterday we were with Brett Sikora and Dave DeVoe on their live stream. So hey, we're everything is cloud-based now, it seems.
Listen, if we're gonna take over the world, we might as well do it with smiling faces.
Right. And I know that Dave, this show is of course nationwide. So that's another reason why we chose eXp Realty, is because of the borderless opportunities that we have, and our commercial business has been, and our clients have been bringing us down to Florida, Texas, Arizona, California, where people are migrating to because of warmer weather and such. So that's what I'm talking about. Is eXp is virtual, is cloud-based, but there's human beings behind this. There's real people behind us, like us. So it's just a matter of making the connections. That's it.
Well, again, I want to thank you guys for coming on. Stay on after we go off for a second. Next week, December 11th, 11 a.m., we have Tammy Pack from Absolute Charm in Texas coming on to join us. And
the cats.
It's what's
Tammy
that?
Pack and the cats.
That's right, Tammy Pack and the cats. That's right. And it's just going to be great to accent everything we've been doing. So, guys, I want to thank you for coming on. Let's hope I can do the outro as well as I did the intro. It's like it's a lot of work.
It's been one of those days.
Sure has, man. So here we go.
All right.